Most people think they need a big backyard before they can grow enough food to make a difference. I used to believe that too. Every spring, I'd browse gardening magazines filled with sprawling raised beds, tidy vegetable rows, and acres of fertile land. It all looked beautiful, but also impossible for someone with a tiny patio, a small balcony, or nothing more than a sunny corner outside the back door. Maybe you felt the same way. You want fresh vegetables, but you don't have much space. Buying expensive containers doesn't sound appealing either. And after seeing so many complicated gardening tutorials online, it's easy to think growing your own food is harder than it really is. Here's what nobody tells you. One of the most productive vegetable gardens I've ever seen wasn't built in expensive pots. It started with empty plastic bottles that most people would have thrown away. Those ordinary bottles became thriving homes for juicy tomatoes, healthy potato plants, fragrant herbs, and even salad greens. Instead of filling landfills, they became miniature gardens producing fresh food for months. Today, I'll show you exactly how beginners can transform discarded bottles into surprisingly productive vegetable planters. We'll focus on two favorite crops, tomatoes and potatoes, but along the way you'll discover simple techniques that work for many other vegetables as well. More importantly, you'll learn the small details that separate struggling bottle gardens from those that produce harvest after harvest. And stay with me until the end, because one simple watering trick has helped countless gardeners grow healthier plants while using less water than they ever imagined. Let's get started. Step 1. Choose the right bottle before you plant anything. Here's the thing. Success begins long before the first seed ever touches the soil. Imagine holding two empty bottles in your hands. One is a thin, disposable water bottle that crumples with the slightest squeeze. The other is a sturdy 2-liter soda bottle with thick plastic walls. Which one do you think will support months of root growth, changing weather, watering, and the weight of mature vegetables? The answer is obvious once you see them side by side. Larger, stronger bottles create healthier root systems. For tomatoes, bottles holding at least 2 liters of soil work best for dwarf or patio varieties. If you're growing larger tomato plants, consider connecting multiple bottles together or using larger recycled containers instead. Potatoes need even more growing space. Many gardeners stack or connect bottles vertically, adding more growing medium as the stems develop. Others use large water jugs or food-grade buckets for better production, while still embracing the recycling concept. The surprising part is that drainage matters even more than size. Without drainage holes, water collects at the bottom, oxygen disappears, and roots begin to suffer. A few carefully placed holes in the base and lower sides allow excess water to escape while keeping enough moisture for healthy growth. You'll also want several small ventilation holes if you're creating enclosed bottle systems. Good airflow reduces excess humidity and helps keep roots healthier. Before planting, wash bottles thoroughly with mild soap and water to remove sugary residues that might attract insects or encourage mold. One useful tip is to choose food-grade plastic containers whenever possible and avoid bottles that previously held chemicals or non-food products. A strong bottle creates a strong foundation, and healthy roots always begin with the right home. Before we fill that bottle with soil, there's one mistake beginners make that limits harvests before plants even start growing. Fortunately, it's incredibly easy to avoid. Step 2. Build living soil instead of filling containers with dirt. Imagine scooping heavy clay from your backyard and packing it tightly into a bottle. At first it seems fine. Then you water it. The soil becomes dense. Roots struggle to spread. Water drains poorly. Growth slows. This is exactly why experienced gardeners rarely use ordinary garden soil inside containers. Container gardens need something lighter. Think of the soil as a sponge. It should hold moisture without becoming soggy. It should support roots while still allowing air to move freely between soil particles. A simple homemade mix often works beautifully. Many gardeners combine quality compost with coconut coir or peat-free alternatives for moisture retention, then add perlite, coarse sand, or rice hulls to improve drainage and aeration. The result feels soft and springy rather than heavy and compacted. Tomatoes especially appreciate fertile, well-draining soil because they develop extensive root systems that fuel continuous flowering and fruit production. Potatoes benefit too. Loose-growing media allow developing tubers to expand naturally instead of becoming cramped inside hardened soil. Here's something beginners rarely hear. Healthy soil is alive. Billions of beneficial microbes quietly break down organic matter, release nutrients, and help roots absorb water more efficiently. When you build living soil instead of simply adding dirt, Your plants spend less energy struggling and more energy growing. One gardening tip that makes a noticeable difference is mixing a slow-release organic fertilizer into the potting mix before planting. This provides a steady supply of nutrients as the plants mature, instead of relying entirely on frequent feeding later. Most tomatoes thrive in USDA zones 4 through 11 during the frost-free growing season, while potatoes grow successfully across a similar range when temperatures remain cool to moderate during tuber formation. The lesson here is simple. Healthy harvests don't begin above the soil, they begin deep inside it. By now, you're probably seeing a pattern. Bottle gardening isn't about making do with less. It's about creating the right conditions inside a surprisingly small space. But even perfect soil can't save a plant placed in the wrong location. And that's exactly what we'll tackle next. Step 3. Give your plants the sun they actually need. Imagine two identical tomato plants growing in identical bottles. One sits in bright sunshine most of the day. The other spends its life tucked beneath a porch roof where sunlight only reaches it briefly each morning. After several weeks, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. The sunny plant stands tall, with thick stems, deep green leaves, and clusters of bright yellow blossoms. The shaded one stretches awkwardly toward the light. Its stems become thin, flowers are fewer, and fruit production slows dramatically. Sunlight is the engine that powers every harvest. Tomatoes generally need 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day, with 8 or more hours often producing the best yields in many climates. Potatoes also appreciate full sun, although in very hot regions, light afternoon shade can help reduce heat stress. The beauty of bottle gardening is mobility. Unlike plants rooted permanently in the ground, bottle gardens can be moved. If one location becomes too shady, simply relocate the container. If a summer heat wave arrives, move plants where they'll receive gentle afternoon protection. This flexibility is one of the greatest advantages beginners have. One practical tip is to rotate bottles every few days, if sunlight reaches them mainly from one direction. This encourages straighter growth and more balanced development. Remember though, frequent unnecessary movement can disturb larger plants, so only reposition them when lighting conditions truly require it. The right amount of sunlight can turn an ordinary bottle into a surprisingly productive vegetable garden. We've built the perfect container. We've created healthy living soil. We've found the ideal sunny location. But one simple planting technique determines whether your tomato plants become average or extraordinary. And it also changes the way potatoes are produced underground. Now comes the part that surprises almost every beginner. Two gardeners can use the same bottle, the same soil, and even the same tomato variety, yet one harvests baskets of fruit while the other ends up with a tall plant that produces very little. The difference often comes down to how the plant goes into the soil. Let's change that. Step 4. Plant tomatoes and potatoes the right way. Here's something most first-time gardeners don't realize. Tomatoes are unlike almost any other common vegetable. If you look closely at a tomato stem, you'll notice tiny bumps running along its length. Those bumps aren't flaws. They're actually potential roots. That means every section of stem buried beneath the soil can develop an entirely new root system. Imagine planting a tomato seedling much deeper than you normally would. Within weeks, those buried stems transform into strong white roots that anchor the plant and dramatically increase its ability to absorb water and nutrients. It's one of nature's greatest gardening shortcuts. For bottle gardening, remove the lower leaves from the seedling and bury about 1/2 to 2/3 of the stem, depending on the plant's size. Leave only the healthy upper leaves above the soil. The result? A sturdier plant that's far less likely to topple over when loaded with fruit. Potatoes work differently. Instead of burying the entire plant, start by placing a certified seed potato or sprouted potato piece a few inches beneath the soil surface. As green shoots emerge and grow taller, gently add more soil around the stems, without covering the leaves completely. This process, called hilling, encourages additional tubers to develop along the buried stem, while protecting forming potatoes from sunlight, which can turn them green and unsuitable to eat. One practical tip is to avoid planting grocery store potatoes if possible. Certified seed potatoes are less likely to carry diseases that can affect future crops. Tomatoes generally perform best when daytime temperatures stay between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Potatoes prefer cooler conditions, usually producing their best tubers before intense summer heat arrives. How you plant often matters just as much as what you plant. Now that your vegetables are growing, another challenge begins. Ironically, it's the mistake made with the very best intentions. Too much love. Step 5. Master watering without drowning your plants. Imagine walking outside every morning. You see dry soil, so you water. You return that evening. The top looks dry again. You water once more. A few weeks later, the leaves begin turning yellow. Growth slows. Flowers fall off. Many beginners assume the plants need even more water. In reality, they're often receiving too much. Roots need oxygen just as much as they need moisture. When soil stays constantly soaked, tiny air pockets disappear. Without oxygen, roots weaken, beneficial microbes decline, and diseases become more likely. Instead of watering on a fixed schedule, let the soil guide you. Insert your finger about an inch into the growing mix. If it still feels moist, wait another day. If it feels dry, it's time to water thoroughly. Tomatoes especially benefit from deep, consistent watering rather than frequent light sprinkles. Steady moisture helps reduce problems like cracked fruit and blossom end rot, especially when combined with adequate calcium and balanced fertilization. Potatoes also appreciate consistent moisture while tubers are forming, but soggy conditions can increase the risk of rot. One of the greatest advantages of bottle gardening is how easy it is to monitor moisture. Because the container is small, changes become obvious much faster than in large garden beds. A simple layer of straw, shredded leaves, or untreated grass clippings on top of the soil helps reduce evaporation and keeps roots cooler during hot weather. The secret is consistency, not constant watering. Healthy roots grow in moist soil, not waterlogged soil. This is where many beginners start feeling confident. The plants look healthy, flowers appear, everything seems perfect. But if tomatoes never produce fruit, or potato harvests stay disappointingly small, one overlooked detail is usually responsible. Step 6. Feed the plants without overfeeding them. Imagine an athlete training every day while eating almost nothing. Sooner or later, performance declines. Plants work much the same way. Bottle gardens contain only a limited amount of soil. Unlike vegetables growing in the ground, they can't send roots searching for fresh nutrients beyond the container. Eventually, the available nutrition becomes depleted. That's why feeding matters. Tomatoes need balanced nutrition during early growth, but once flowering begins, many gardeners reduce excessive nitrogen and use fertilizers with adequate phosphorus and potassium to support flowering and fruit development. Too much nitrogen often produces enormous leafy plants with surprisingly few tomatoes. It looks impressive. It isn't productive. Potatoes also appreciate balanced nutrition, but excessive nitrogen can encourage lush foliage at the expense of underground tubers. Organic options work wonderfully for bottle gardens. Finished compost, compost tea, fish emulsion, seaweed extract, well-balanced organic vegetable fertilizers. Each provides nutrients while helping maintain healthy soil biology. One practical tip is to feed lightly but regularly instead of applying large amounts all at once. Small, consistent feedings are easier for plants to absorb and reduce nutrient waste. Here's another beginner-friendly trick. Observe your plants. Healthy green leaves, steady growth, and continuous flowering usually indicate you're on the right track. Sudden pale leaves, poor flowering, or stunted growth may signal it's time to adjust your feeding routine. Feed your plants enough to thrive, not so much that they forget to produce vegetables. Step 7. Support your plants before they need it. Imagine a tomato plant on a warm summer morning. Clusters of bright yellow flowers have begun turning into tiny green tomatoes. Week after week, those fruits swell larger, becoming heavier with every passing day. At first, the stems seem strong enough. Then comes a windy afternoon, or a heavy rain. Suddenly, a branch bends under the weight of its fruit. It rubs against the bottle, cracks, or snaps completely. Many beginners wait until this happens before adding support. Experienced gardeners know better. Support should go in early, while the plant is still young. For bottle-grown tomatoes, a slender bamboo cane, wooden stake, or small tomato cage works well. Insert it carefully when planting or shortly afterward so you don't damage the expanding root system later. As the plant grows, loosely tie the main stem using soft garden ties, strips of cloth, or reusable plant clips. Leave enough room for the stem to expand naturally. The goal isn't to hold the plant rigidly in place. It's to guide it upward while protecting it from sudden movement. Indeterminate tomato varieties, which continue growing throughout the season, especially benefit from regular tying and pruning. Dwarf or determinate varieties usually need less support, but still appreciate help once fruits begin to develop. Potatoes don't require staking, but they do benefit from continued hilling if you're growing them in taller bottle systems or stacked containers. As stems lengthen, Carefully add more growing medium around them while leaving the top leaves exposed. This encourages additional tuber production and shields developing potatoes from sunlight. Here's another detail many people overlook. Good support improves airflow. When tomato leaves are lifted off the ground and spread naturally, they dry more quickly after rain or watering, reducing the chances of fungal diseases. One practical tip is to remove any yellowing or damaged lower leaves as the plant matures. This improves air circulation and allows the plant to direct more energy toward healthy growth and fruit production. A few minutes of support today can save months of growing tomorrow. At this point, your bottle garden is looking healthy. But here's where many gardeners unknowingly reduce their harvest. They stop observing. The best gardeners don't simply grow plants. They watch them. And that's the final step. Step 8. Harvest often and keep the garden producing. Imagine stepping outside every morning with a small basket in your hand. Bright red tomatoes peek through green leaves, warm from the morning sun. A few weeks later, you gently empty your potato container and discover smooth golden tubers tucked beneath the soil like buried treasure. Those moments are rewarding. But harvesting isn't the end of gardening. It's part of how plants keep producing. Tomatoes that remain on the vine long after ripening signal the plant to slow down. Regular picking encourages many varieties to continue flowering and setting new fruit throughout the season. Harvest tomatoes when they've reached their full mature color and feel slightly firm with a little softness. If frost threatens, mature green tomatoes can often finish ripening indoors. Potatoes offer 2 harvesting stages. Young new potatoes can be carefully removed once the plants begin flowering, allowing the rest to continue growing. For a full harvest, wait until the foliage naturally yellows and dies back. At that stage, the skins have hardened, making the potatoes better suited for storage. Here's another secret. Don't throw your bottle garden away after harvest. Healthy soil can often be refreshed with compost and reused for future crops. The bottles themselves can serve for multiple growing seasons if they're cleaned and protected from excessive sun damage. Rotation is important too. Instead of planting tomatoes in the same growing mix year after year, alternate with herbs, leafy greens, beans, or other suitable crops to help reduce disease buildup and maintain healthier soil. Keep checking your plants each week. Look beneath the leaves for pests. Notice changes in leaf color. Watch how quickly the soil dries. These small observations often solve problems before they become serious. You'll also discover something surprising. Every season teaches you something new. One year you'll master watering. Next year you'll improve pruning. Then you'll experiment with companion flowers, homemade compost, or different tomato varieties. Bottle gardening becomes more than growing vegetables. It becomes a growing experience. Imagine looking around your home a few months from now. What was once a pile of empty bottles has become a collection of thriving miniature gardens. Tomatoes cascade with colorful fruit. Fresh potatoes come from containers you built yourself. Instead of throwing plastic away, you've turned it into something productive. More importantly, you've discovered that gardening isn't measured by the size of your yard. It's measured by the care, patience, and curiosity you bring to every plant. One bottle can grow a tomato. A few bottles can feed a family with fresh produce throughout the season. And before long, you'll find yourself seeing every recyclable container not as waste, but as the beginning of another harvest. If you enjoyed this guide, we'd love to hear from you. Which project will you try first, tomatoes or potatoes? Have you already experimented with bottle gardening, or do you have another creative container idea that's worked well for you? Share your experience in the comments below. Your ideas might inspire someone else to start growing their very first garden. And if you're ready to discover more simple, practical ways to grow more food in less space, be sure to subscribe and join us for the next gardening adventure. Until then, happy growing.